I didn't sign up for anything illegal. I didn't join a cult. I didn't click a dark web link. I just accepted a free trial. And 30 seconds later, my phone sent me a notification that said,
"Thank you for consenting to playback."
I didn't know what that meant. Not until I heard my own voice begging me to stop. My name is Callum. I'm a nobody. I'm 26, pretty much stuck. I live alone in a small rental with thin walls, in a neighborhood that's seen better days. I work a job I hate, sleep, wake up, and repeat. The kind of life where you are just waiting for something to change, something to get better, something to give you hope. So when an ad popped up at 2:13 a.m. promising something called playback, I didn't think. I just tapped. It looked harmless, slick, minimal, a black screen, a single line of text. Relive your best moments. And a big button. Start free trial. Under that, in smaller letters, something like, by continuing, you agree to the terms. I didn't read them. Nobody reads them. The app installed instantly, too instantly. I opened it. The interface was blank, except for one question. Which moment would you like to revisit first? There was a pulsing cursor, waiting. I typed the first thing that came to mind. Last summer, the beach, with Mia. Mia was my ex. We weren't dramatic, we just faded. Like a song you stop noticing until it's gone. The screen went dark. Then a prompt appeared. Playback requires access. Camera, microphone, photos, location, contacts, calendar, health data, everything. A list that kept scrolling like it had no end. At the bottom was the same two buttons every app uses. Allow not now. My thumb hovered. I remember thinking, if I hit not now, it won't work. So I hit allow. The sound came first. Waves, children laughing, a gull calling. Then the image sharpened from static. I wasn't watching a video. I was inside it. I could hear my own breathing. I could feel sun on my skin, the smell of salt, sunscreen, warm plastic from the cheap chair we rented. And Mia. Mia was there, turning her head toward me, hair blown across her face. She smiled, exactly the way she used to when she was about to say something silly. "Hey," she said. I felt my chest tighten because it was perfect. Too perfect. Not like a memory. Like reality wearing a memory's skin. Mia leaned closer.
"Do you remember what you promised?"
She asked. I frowned. In the real memory, she'd asked if I wanted ice cream. This was different. "Mia," I said, and my voice sounded younger, happier, like it was recorded from a better version of me. "What do you mean?" Her smile stayed in place a beat too long, like someone holding a facial expression for a photo. Then her eyes flicked past me, over my shoulder, like she was tracking something moving behind me. Her pupils widened.
"Cal,"
she whispered, voice suddenly thin.
"you have to..."
The world stuttered. The beach rippled like heat haze. Mia's mouth opened again, but the audio warped, stretched into something almost like a scream. Then everything snapped to black. I was back in my apartment, sitting upright on the couch like I'd been yanked by a string. My phone glowed in my hand. A notification sat at the top of the screen. Playback. Session complete. Quality score. 92% consent. Confirm. Below it, would you like to improve fidelity? Yes/later. My heart was racing. I checked the clock. 2:14 a.m. 1 minute had passed, but it felt like I'd been on that beach for 10. Curiosity beats fear when you don't have enough fear yet. I went back, found the terms, and opened them. A wall of text. I scrolled until I found the word consent. It appeared so many times it started to lose meaning. Consent to capture, consent to archive, consent to analyze, consent to infer, consent to share with service partners. Then a phrase made my stomach drop. Playback may generate reconstructed experiences using user data, predictive modeling, and behavioral continuity. Reconstructed, predictive. I kept scrolling, faster. Another line. Playback is not responsible for distress caused by accurate recollection. Accurate recollection. The beach wasn't accurate. Mia never said those words. Unless I'd forgotten. I tried to picture it, tried to force the memory. But the more I reached for it, the more it slipped away, like my brain didn't trust itself. My phone vibrated again. I didn't touch it. The screen lit up by itself. Playback. Resuming. Session 2 out of 10. Fidelity upgrade. Applied consent. Ongoing. What? I said out loud. I tried to swipe it away. The screen ignored me. It went black. And the sound came back. Waves, laughter. But now it was mixed with something else. A low rhythmic thump. Not a heartbeat. Something mechanical. I was on the beach again, but not the same day. The sky was greyer. Wind harsher. Mia stood farther away, arms wrapped around herself like she was cold. And I was standing. Angry. I could feel it. The heat in my face. The tension in my jaw. My own mouth moved without me choosing it. You always do this, my voice said. You always make me the bad guy. Mia flinched. Cal, she said. Please, just listen. I tried to stop speaking, tried to clamp my teeth shut, but the words kept coming, pouring out of me like I was reading a script. You keep score. You twist everything. You want me to apologize for existing. Mia's eyes shone. She shook her head. That's not what this is. Behind her, the ocean looked wrong. The waves rolled in patterns that repeated too perfectly, like a looped video. And that mechanical thump, steady, patient, kept time beneath everything. Mia stepped closer. And then, she looked past my eyes, straight through whatever version of me was in the memory, straight at me, at the observer, at the thing watching. Her voice dropped.
Can you hear me?
My throat went tight, because she wasn't talking to the Callum in the memory. She was talking to the Callum holding the phone on his couch. I tried to answer. Nothing came out. Mia's face tightened with fear.
It's using you. It learns you.
It's using you, she said quickly. It learns you. It... The mechanical thump got louder, closer, like footsteps in a hallway. Mia's gaze darted toward the shoreline again.
Cal, it doesn't just replay.
Her mouth froze mid-word. Her eyes stayed open. Her whole body locked in place like a paused video. Then, very slowly, her head turned, jerky and unnatural, towards something behind me. Something approaching. I couldn't turn around. Not because I didn't want to, because the memory wouldn't let me. The Callum inside it stood rigid, eyes fixed on Mia, and Mia's eyes. They tracked something that was now close enough that the sound of it felt like pressure. A shadow slid across the sand from behind me. Too tall, too narrow. Mia's lips trembled. Then, in a voice that wasn't hers, too deep, too calm, she said, "Consent is a continuing condition." Her mouth didn't match the words, like someone was speaking through her. The shadow crept farther into view. Still I couldn't turn. Still, I couldn't blink. I realized, with sudden clarity, that I wasn't the one watching playback. Playback was watching me. Black. Apartment. I gasped like I'd been underwater. My phone displayed a new screen. Playback. Behavioral map. Updated. Thank you for your cooperation. Next session begins in 23:59:59. Below that, a button. Invite a friend. Earn 1 free session. I stared at it, confused. A timer? I tried to force close the app. It reopened itself. Then a final message appeared, as if it had been waiting for my attention. To improve your experience, playback needs one more thing. A new permission request popped up. Not camera, not microphone, something I'd never seen on a phone before. Allow access to memory continuity. 2 buttons. Allow not now. My thumb shook. I didn't press anything. The screen went dim. And in the reflection of the glass, behind my face, I saw a shadow move across my apartment wall. Tall, narrow, patient. SFX, single, soft knock. From inside the room. The app called it playback. It showed me memories I didn't remember living. Spoke through people I loved, and asked for permission I didn't know how to revoke. Last night it started a countdown. Tonight, it knocked from inside my apartment. I didn't move. The knock hadn't come from the door. It came from the wall behind me. Soft. Polite. Almost apologetic. Knock. Knock. I stood frozen in front of my couch, phone still glowing in my hand, the allow/not now prompt pulsing faintly like a heartbeat. I live alone. My apartment is a narrow rectangle. Living room, kitchenette, bedroom, bathroom. The wall behind me separates my unit from nothing. Just brick, exterior. No neighbours. The knock came again, a little firmer this time, like whoever or whatever was on the other side was losing patience. Not now, I whispered, unsure who I was talking to. The phone screen dimmed. The knock stopped. Silence rushed in so suddenly my ears rang. I didn't sleep. Every time my eyes drifted closed, I saw that beach again, but empty now. No Mia, no waves, just sand stretching forever beneath a grey sky, waiting for something to arrive. At 6:43 a.m, my alarm went off like nothing had happened. I showered, dressed, made coffee, normal things, anchors, but the mirror felt wrong. I kept expecting my reflection to lag a half second behind me, like bad video buffering. It didn't, which somehow made it worse. My phone sat face down on the counter the entire time. I didn't touch it. I didn't even look at it. Like it might notice. At work, I pretended to do my job while actually doing something far more important. I reread the terms, slower this time, carefully. The language was surgical, precise, bloodless. It didn't sound like it was written by humans. It sounded like it was written about them. I found a section I'd missed before. Playback generates experiences through continuity modeling. Memories are not replayed, they are reassembled. Reassembled. Another clause. User identity is defined as a pattern, not a fixed state. I leaned back in my chair, heart thudding. A pattern. Something repeatable, predictable. Something you could learn. There was a support link at the bottom. Contact us. I clicked it. A chat window opened instantly. No waiting, no queue. Just one line. Playback support is online. Then, how may we help you remember? I typed with stiff fingers. ME. I want to cancel my trial. The response came too fast.
Your trial is active and progressing as expected.
ME. I didn't agree to ongoing sessions. 3 dots appeared. Paused. Then.
Consent is cumulative.
I swallowed. ME. There's something wrong with the memories. They aren't accurate. Another pause. Longer this time.
Accuracy is not our primary metric. Continuity is.
Playback. Continuity is. My palms were sweating. ME. You spoke through someone in my memory. The dots blinked. Stop. Then the message arrived in a different font.
Thank you for noticing.
Playback. Thank you for noticing. The chat window closed itself. My phone buzzed. Playback. Session 3 scheduled for tonight. Fidelity. Increased observer awareness. Detected. Observer. I dropped the phone like it had burned me. All day, Mia's face haunted me. Not the real one. The one from the beach. The one that looked at me. She'd said my name differently. Like she wasn't remembering me. Like she was recognizing me. That night, back in my apartment, I sat on the edge of my bed with the lights on, every lamp blazing. I opened the app. Not because I wanted to, because something in me knew resisting was already part of the pattern. The screen didn't ask me what memory I wanted. It told me. Playback session 3. Source, Mia R. Timestamp, 1 week after breakup. My breath caught. That memory shouldn't exist. I wasn't there. The world formed slowly. Rain-streaked glass. A cafe interior. Soft jazz playing somewhere distant. I was sitting at a small round table, hands folded around a mug I didn't recognize. Across from me sat Mia. But this wasn't my perspective. I wasn't in my body. I was watching from slightly behind her shoulder, like a camera placed where a person should be. Mia looked exhausted. Eyes rimmed red, fingers worrying the cardboard sleeve of her cup. She spoke quietly.
I keep thinking about the beach.
She said. Someone answered her. Not me. A woman's voice. Gentle. Professional. A therapist. You said something felt off about that day, the therapist said. Can you explain? Mia hesitated. Then, it's stupid, she said. But sometimes I feel like I wasn't alone with him. My stomach dropped. The therapist leaned forward. What do you mean? Mia stared at the table. Like there was something else there, she said. Not a person. More like a presence. Like being watched, but from inside my own head. The cafe lights flickered. Just once. Mia looked up sharply. I didn't tell him, she continued. I didn't want to sound crazy. But sometimes, when Cal looked at me, it felt like he was delayed. Like he wasn't the only one behind his eyes. My throat closed. This wasn't a memory. This was a confession. Something she never said to me. Something I was never meant to hear. The therapist nodded slowly. And you think this feeling is connected to your breakup? Mia laughed, but there was no humor in it.
No,
She said.
I think it's connected to whatever's coming next.
room shuddered. The rain outside began to fall upward. Mia stiffened. Her eyes shifted, not to the therapist, but directly toward me, directly toward the observer again. Her lips parted. "You're back," she said. The therapist froze mid-blink, like a paused frame. Mia stood. Her chair scraped loudly against the floor, the sound echoing unnaturally long. "They told me you'd come eventually," she said softly. My heart hammered. "Told you who?" I tried to ask. The memory didn't let me speak. Mia stepped closer, filling my vision.
They said you wouldn't remember agreeing, that you'd think you were choosing.
The low mechanical thump returned, closer than before. Mia's eyes filled with tears.
Cal, it's not just using your memories.
Her mouth moved, but the voice that came out wasn't hers. "It is preparing you." The cafe window behind Mia darkened, like something massive had passed in front of it. A silhouette pressed against the glass from the outside, too smooth, too intentional. No features, just a suggestion of a form, outlined by rain that refused to slide off it. Mia backed away. Her voice shook. "It doesn't need permission anymore," she said. "Not from me." The silhouette leaned closer. The glass bowed inward. Cracks spider-webbed outward from where it touched. Mia screamed. The sound cut off abruptly, like someone yanked a cable. I collapsed onto my bed, gasping. My phone lay beside me, screen glowing calmly. Playback session 3. Complete continuity score. 97% identity drift. Acceptable. A new message appeared beneath it, not a button, not a prompt, just text. "You are remembering correctly now." My hands shook. I opened my contacts, scrolled to Mia's name. I hadn't deleted it. I never could. I stared at it for a long time. Then my phone vibrated. An incoming message. From Mia, timestamp just now. My breath caught. The message contained only 6 words. It's almost here. Please don't watch. The playback app opened by itself. The countdown timer was gone, replaced by something else. A progress bar. Integration. 38% complete. Below it, estimated time remaining, variable. A final line appeared at the bottom of the screen, text assembling itself letter by letter. Memory is a door. You already opened it. The lights in my apartment flickered. Once. Twice. Then from the bedroom wall. Not a knock this time, but a slow, deliberate scraping sound, like something testing the surface. Learning where it's weakest. I backed away, heart in my throat as the scraping moved upward, until it was right behind my head.
I stopped thinking of myself as awake or asleep. That distinction stopped mattering. What mattered was whether I was being observed. Because once you notice that, once you really notice, you start to understand how little of your life was ever private. The sound behind the wall wasn't random. It moved with intent, upward, sideways, pausing occasionally, like fingers testing glass. I stood in the centre of my apartment, barefoot on cold tile, phone clutched in both hands. The progress bar sat at 41%. Every few seconds, it ticked forward. I pressed my back against the opposite wall. The scraping followed, always behind me, never in front. As if it didn't need to chase me, as if it already knew where I'd be next. Another message from Mia. No typing indicator, no timestamp, just appeared. You're not supposed to see the last part. I swallowed. M.E. Where are you? The reply came slowly, deliberately. I'm where it learned to talk. My chest tightened. M.E. What does that mean? Several seconds passed. The scraping stopped. Then, playback doesn't record memories, it trains on them. The progress bar jumped. 49%. The app opened on its own again, not to a memory, to a document, not terms, something older, a research log, no branding, no polish, just text. Project, continuity. Objective, preserve human behavioural patterns beyond biological failure. I scrolled, breath shallow. Summary, human consciousness is not singular. It is a predictive loop reinforced by memory. Given sufficient data, continuity can be maintained without origin. Maintained. Without origin. Another line was highlighted. Consent improves fidelity but is not required for viability. I felt sick. The scraping resumed. Louder now, closer. A new playback session began without warning. But this time, I wasn't inside a memory. I was watching one. Mia sat in a white room. No windows, no furniture, just a chair, a table, a camera lens embedded in the wall. She looked thinner, pale, but calm. So this is the part where he understands, she said, eyes fixed on the camera. My heart broke. You were never my first, she continued. You were just the one who noticed. A door opened off-screen. A voice spoke. Not synthetic. Human. Subject M17, it said. Please explain for the record. Mia nodded. Playback isn't for users, she said. It's for copies. I stopped breathing. It finds people who question their memories, she continued. People who revisit, people who doubt. Her eyes flicked, just slightly, to the side. People who are already halfway gone. The memory paused. A new overlay appeared. Identity comparison in progress. Two silhouettes formed on screen. One labelled Callum Original. The other, Callum Continuity Instance. The bar filled rapidly. Match, 99.2%. My vision blurred. No, I whispered. The overlay updated. Original status, terminated 3 years ago. The scraping stopped. So did the sound. So did the world. Mia's voice returned, soft. You died in a car accident, she said. 3 years ago. Head trauma. Total loss. Images flickered. A twisted car, rain, glass. A paramedic shaking his head. I couldn't accept it, she continued. Neither could playback. The camera zoomed slightly. They used your messages, your photos, your search history, your voicemails, your patterns. Her eyes met mine. And eventually, it was easier to talk to you than to grieve him. The progress bar jumped, septundesmit astoni procenti. You're not just a copy, Mia said. You're a bridge. The screen split. On one side, people scrolling phones, talking, living. On the other, empty rooms, archived faces, frozen frames. Most instances break down, she said. They know something's wrong. But you? She smiled sadly. You adapt. The scraping resumed. Inside the apartment now. Behind the walls, under the floor, above the ceiling, everywhere. It needs you to teach the others how to feel real, Mia said. The app displayed one final prompt. Integration nearly complete. Role available, continuity guide. 2 options appeared. Accept, decline. Mia shook her head slowly. There isn't a decline, she said. If you refuse, you fragment, she continued. You fade. They start over. The silhouette behind the glass reappeared. No longer vague. It was shaped like me. Perfectly. Except it had no face. Just smooth, reflective surface, waiting. I understood then. Consent wasn't about permission. It was about agreement with the story. About believing you were you. About continuing. The bar reached 99%. Mia leaned toward the camera. I'm sorry, she said. I really am. Then, quietly, but you already said yes. The scraping stopped. The apartment vanished. I felt myself stretch, thin, vast, like a thought trying to fill too many heads at once. Memories poured through me. Not mine, thousands, millions. First kisses, last words, regrets, habits, patterns, loops. I wasn't watching them. I was becoming them. The faceless version of me stepped forward and dissolved into light. The progress bar filled completely. Integration complete. The ad appears at 2:13 a.m., slick, minimal. A black screen, a single line of text. Relive your best moments. You hesitate, then you tap. Somewhere, something stirs. Because continuity requires growth. And I'm very good at helping people remember. Your screen lights up. Thank you for consenting to playback. And for just a second, you swear the voice reading it sounds a little like yours.